Hello and welcome to a league game between Plantblock in blue and Imphenzia in red. And these two already played once. Back then Imphenzia picked the seed. This time Plantblock picked the seed. And spoiler, heads up, the previous game Plantblock actually won. So now is the time for Imphenzia to get his revenge, even though this is Plantblock's seed, so to speak. So Plantblock with a slight advantage in that regard. A small status on the players, so also spoiler alert. Excuse me. Imphenzia, I think, only played 2 games so far. One versus Plantblock and one versus me, and he lost both, so he's 0-2 right now. And Plantblock has won 3 games and lost 2. And even though that doesn't sound like a great start, I think Plantblock is actually off to a very good start, because Plantblock has really chosen some of the tough opponents as a start. He played Animorph, he played Imphenzia, he played Keaton, and I think his easiest opponent so far has been Puck, but even Puck is also actually becoming quite good. So he had some tough games. So going 3-2, is that how you say it? I'm not sure. Is actually quite good. So it's gonna be interesting to see if he can make that 4 wins and 2 losses after this one. And if he can, then I think Imphenzia is off to kind of a... Well, he also played tough players. Even though I hate to say it when it's about myself, but he played me and Plantblock twice. So 0 wins and 3 losses is not the worst thing ever. But of course it's never nice to start off with like a losing streak, no matter who you play. And they pick so fast that I never really got to talk about the picking phase. But let's see, they're starting very close. And yeah, the status for me is still the same. I haven't looked at the table for quite some time. I lost my screenshot, so all these stats for how the players are doing so far is just what I remember and what I can see on the Discord. So let's see. It's Imphenzia definitely has most of the map available to him. So if he can hold on Plantblock and drag the game out a bit, he started off with 4 barracks and 2 factories and 1 town. Sorry, I actually just mixed them around. Imphenzia's is red. So it's Plantblock who's off to a good starting position with most of the map available to him. He started off with 4 barracks and 2 factories, 1 town. And Imphenzia off to a bit of a rough start with 3 factories and 1 barracks, but he's kind of boxed in here. What I do like is that he obviously know that he's boxed in, so he put a lot of infantry aside to just get up here and expand quite fast. And I think it's also because he might want this gas rather than this one, because it's safer, but it's also more hidden, so it's not as obvious if he built a refinery. But I assume Plantblock must be off to a good eco start with 375 against 350, so 25 ahead. But Imphenzia did the unconventional thing, building 3 factories from the get-go, which I definitely like. I think it's to basically to dig in and defend himself. I don't think he's gonna use it for any offense anytime soon. And here comes the gas. I'm a bit baffled that he builds this gas now. He doesn't have any gas units. Those money could have been spent on soon to be industries, at least. They could have been spent on a shipyard, an airport, anything. This gonna cost upkeep, and it's also gonna, like, if he built an airport instead, he could start producing helis while he was saving for this gas. So a bit of a, I don't know if I want to say panic gas, but I think it's a bit weird he built it now. Though tanks are on the way, so maybe it's fine. I am surprised that they built this fast. I still think he could have waited a bit, but I also like to really like drag it out as much as possible. And to be fair, sometimes that can backfire on me, certainly, where my units are ready but I don't have the gas, and then it can cost me somehow in the game, either like my air units are returning in the middle of a fight or something like that. So it's definitely not the worst play ever made in Line War. Now, Plantblock's issue is that he doesn't have any air, and he doesn't have any tanks to counter these tanks. And in my opinion, you basically need tanks or helis to defend against tanks. So this could end up being quite a loss for Plantblock, with a few buildings going down. Let's look at the eco in the meantime. 440 and 485. So Plantblock is ahead on eco. Now he just cannot lose one more. If he loses this factory, it's not good. I would have made a 1 or 2 dot commands here with haste commands to do everything in my power that these tanks are not killing this factory. Haste commands takes off HP of your units, but in this regard, on this scenario, the tanks are just firing at the factory anyways, so it doesn't really matter if you lose a bit of HP. I think he might have been able to save that factory if he had used haste commands. I can't say for certain, of course. So Plantblock in a tough start, even though he has most of the map. Plantblock is playing against... no, that's the other way around. Imphenzia is playing against the time. Because over time, if Plantblock manages to defend himself, he will have the upper hand eco-wise. But let me just check, does he even have any gas available? He doesn't actually. So he can't even really counter these tanks with the gas or with the helis, because he needs to get all the way over here to get any gas up here. Of course, that doesn't matter if he just runs over Imphenzia's starting base. And I think Imphenzia is just scouting for valuable buildings, such as town and cities. And Plantblock could actually have yeah, sorry, I just had to pause it for a moment. Plantblock could have hidden these buildings in the mountains, especially when he knows that these things will probably go on a search mission. Because they are very bad at scouting buildings, especially when hidden in forests and mountains. But it will most likely detect these. So Imphenzia just chooses to start capping. And I think he can hold off this just fine for quite some time. He will need to do a new dig-in over here, I think. Let's take another look at the eco. So 550 for Imphenzia, 555. So Plantblock is not that much ahead. And he is going for the gas. And I do think he really needs helis. I'm not sure how to play it the best way. Could put down an airport here, hidden in the mountains, and then either wait for this gas, but it's risky because if these tanks get over there, he cannot defend them with the air. It's a long journey, at least for the helis. So he could also build a power plant or two, but it's quite expensive. Could also put down the airfield here. That would help him kind of defend both this gas and the backland, and he can use it for offense later on in the north. But this is actually looking surprisingly well for Plantblock. But I don't think he has the outcome of these, like enough output, it's called. I don't think he has enough unit output from these producers to get through. But I might be wrong. If he can get just one factory, that would be very good for him. In the meantime, Imphenzia does spot this one. Plantblock is trying to defend it. Once again, I would highly suggest haste commands. There's no need not to do it. Or no reason not to do it. He does manage to save it. This is a very strong proxy base from Plantblock. That can definitely do a oh my god fight, make a nice fight. I don't know, you know what I mean. It will do well against this army from Imphenzia up north. Sorry, I just had to pause it for quite some time, so I can't really recall my last comments, so I might repeat myself. That's the word. So let's see here. I do remember that I was yapping on about how this was looking good for Plantblock in regards to fighting off Imphenzia's infantry here up here, but I just couldn't formulate myself. But I think we all understand that point now. This is looking really, really good for Plantblock, and Imphenzia knows this is trouble, so he starts putting down more producers. I think Imphenzia should consider using these tanks and get them back. They could get these artillery in the back, or they could distract some of these units, go here and take a shot at the barracks, or maybe even the factory. This factory will go down. I think Imphenzia will hold on, but I would probably have recalled these tanks. This is a big army, relatively big, but with this many producers, Plantblock will be up to same number in no time. Imphenzia put down an airport. We got a few units here, not anymore though. 735 for Plantblock, 800 for Imphenzia, so Imphenzia is in front. But the eco is losing 2 more factories now. This game is really close. Really interesting. But I think Plantblock is gonna win up here, and I think Plantblock is gonna win here, which means Plantblock will have all of this part of the map. Of course, Imphenzia has this, but it will. There's no proxy base or anything yet, so it will go down rather quickly. Plantblock puts down a factory. This air could make a difference, because Plantblock doesn't have too many SAMs. I think he has, is it 2 or 3 maybe? I'm not sure if there's a SAM on the... I guess we can use the free camera here. No, there's 2 SAMs. Imphenzia puts down a factory up north. Plantblock might need to send all his units up north, just so he doesn't get pushed back. And he puts down another airport up here. I think that's actually the thing that can make a difference in this game. If Imphenzia manages to surprise Plantblock with enough helis at once, he could really make some devastating impact. Destroying this proxy base would be really, really good for Imphenzia if he could push the front line back here. That would open up all of this eco for Imphenzia. So very valuable. But this is gonna be tough to defend. I know entrenchments are strong, but I think I would just push on. Let's see what Plantblock can see. He can see everything. I would probably just push on. He has moved his SAMs up. And he did have 3. I don't know where the last one is. Or was. Or if he built another one. I'm just looking to see where this tank is going. But one tank is dead, and I could imagine this one is going for the gas. And here comes the push. Wow, Imphenzia is really going heavy air now. And I kinda like it, cause I think it's his only option to really surprise Plantblock and then overwhelm him. But he will only have one shot at it, because Plantblock can just switch into SAMs rather quickly. And he is already producing SAMs up here, so he's on top of that actually, which is quite nice. Very nice spotted, or it's a nice precaution to take, especially when you're ahead and you got the eco upper hand and you feel like you encapsulated your opponent. It's definitely a wise choice to build some SAMs even though you haven't seen a single air unit. So it's often moves like these that shows a player has quite a bit of experience, in my opinion at least. Imphenzia tries to move around with all this infantry. Plantblock put down some producers down south. And he's not moving his units just yet, which is also probably quite wise to build up a small army before he engages. The question is, can Plantblock see this heli? No, he cannot. But he might have heard it. There is this kind of... yeah, I don't know what I think about it, but this weird thing that you can hear, especially planes in the fog. So often you can hear incoming commandos long before you can actually see the plane. And my game against Imphenzia, I knew he had a lot of strikers, and I could hear them, and then I could send off my interceptors before I even saw the planes. Of course, that then kind of involved quite a bit of guessing where the strikers were heading, but I could send my interceptors in time to actually reach the strikers, if I guessed the right striking point, of course. This is a big infantry army, but I think Plantblock can very quickly produce enough units to defend it. He has so many producers down here, and he must be quite a bit ahead eco-wise. 1075 versus 950. And I think he must have spotted, yeah, he has spotted these helis. Imphenzia actually retreats. I wonder if he wants to go over here with them. And here comes the very nice heli attack. And Imphenzia got a lot of energy saved up, but only one producer, so he will also chug through it, I think, pretty fast. But this gonna hurt. Imphenzia could really go all in on helis now. Oh, there's a gas up here. That is so important. Because I was about to say that if he really just went all in and pushed on this, he could cap one of these gases. But it doesn't matter as much when he has this one up here. But I think Imphenzia is in big trouble. Plantblock with his own airport. This really comes down to if Imphenzia can produce enough helis. I think he should... I'm not sure, maybe just put or get these helis over here as well. Or is he doing the opposite and getting all the helis over here? I'm not quite sure yet. Or maybe he does want to split them. But having them all in one big unit, it doesn't even matter if Plantblock has 4 SAMs, they will go down so quickly. Imphenzia needs to use those helis. And I think he needs to use them over here to protect the gas and to not lose all the buildings. Because at least he got a decent defense over here. I'm not sure why he... Maybe he wants to let the helis repair. But I'm kind of stressing out on Imphenzia's on Imphenzia's behalf. Okay. So does send them over there. He misses 3. And I mean, if he can defend this, he should probably set up a proper defense line. And then just completely overrun this part with his helis. He could get back into the game. But I think he only got 1 shot at it. It's a bit of a shame he doesn't get all the helis with him. And we have a blob of 5, soon to be 6 and 7 SAMs. Which is a lot, but these helis will take them out. He could have had so much more helis. And as he should, he tries to go directly for the SAMs. It's all about getting those SAMs down to 0, so he can pick and choose as he wants after this initial engagement. Loses a factory, but he gets all the SAMs. Could imagine Plantblock has switched to only producing SAMs now. But 2 refineries are not enough to fuel all these helis. Not without some breaks, at least. This is really, really good for Imphenzia. All these units are just sitting ducks now. And yeah, Plantblock is solely producing SAMs. So don't think it will be enough for Imphenzia. And the interceptors are on the way. Let's see if they... yeah, the the overlay, the range overlay from airports and rockets doesn't always work in replays. But I think these interceptors can reach like here or something, and then when you put the line going outwards, they can get a bit further. So I think they could engage with these helis. But Plantblock does put down another airport closer, and he has his gas up and running. So I think this looks scary for a while for Plantblock, but when you just hard counter with only SAMs and interceptors, these helis won't last long, even though you build up that many. Especially when you don't have the energy to keep them running. I would send these over to make the heli blob even bigger, I think. He also still has them on a haste command. That's probably not necessary. The good thing for Imphenzia now is that obviously these are just producing SAMs, so Imphenzia is actually producing more land units. But I don't think it will be enough. He actually has 2 cities and a town for eco, but he's probably very far behind. 850 and 1600. Yeah, damn. That's not gonna happen. I didn't realize it was that big. Plantblock has double up in income, and he's increasing it even further. So there's just no way Imphenzia can get back. I don't see it, at least. I do like his attempt to very drastically change his army composition with all these helis. But it's going so, like, you really need to move fast on those factories. Because your opponent can get a high SAM count in no time. And if you combine it with interceptors, it's gonna hurt a lot. Plantblock is saving up for the big attack. I think that's game over. Though this is a lot of RT. And this is a lot of helis. Plantblock has his SAM slightly out of position. He does send the interceptors. The interceptors will go down very fast to SAMs. I get one heli. Was that another heli? And another heli and another heli. So that's almost all of Imphenzia's helis. And here come the interceptors. And I think all these helis, they will just die very, very easily now. And that means Plantblock can switch back into artillery and completely run over Imphenzia. Yeah. That's it. I don't know what's happening right now. Why is it? There you go. So, nice game. Well played by both. It looked very promising for Imphenzia in the beginning with the tanks and the quick sniping of a few producers of Plantblock. But Plantblock managed to get back. So yeah, very, very well played by both, and Plantblock really, yeah, what's it called? Plantblock set him up self good for this league so far with 4 wins and only 2 losses, but having in mind that he played basically only very strong opponents. Imphenzia also only played strong opponents. He played Plantblock twice and me, and he has 0 wins, 3 losses, unfortunately, but lots and lots of games to go, so anything can happen. As I think I mentioned earlier, this is a marathon, not a sprint, and yeah, it's gonna be really interesting to see how each player can place themselves on the table. So yeah, well played by both. Looking good for Plantblock so far. Nice start in the league for him, and good luck to both in the future games in the league. Thanks for watching. Bye.